Imagine this, you've been told for years that burning fat requires intense exercise, endless hours in the gym, or complicated meal plans. But what if the real breakthrough was something you already do every day, something so simple, so natural, yet so misunderstood, that once you discover it, you'll never see walking the same way again? This is not about walking more. It's about walking smarter. And today I want to share with you the untold walking trick that could unlock rapid fat burn without punishing workouts or deprive of. Most people will tell me, I walk every day, but the scale just won't budge. And I get it. Walking is the most natural, accessible movement we have. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need fancy shoes. You don't even need to carve out a ton of time. Yet here's the surprising truth. Just because you're walking doesn't mean your body is burning fat. And this is where most people get stuck. They're doing the action, but the biology inside their body is running a completely different story. Let's start with the basics of how your body decides what fuel to burn. You've got two main tanks of energy. One tank is sugar. It comes from the food you eat, especially carbs. Think of this like kindling on a fire. It lights quickly, burns hot, but disappears fast. The other tank is fat, and this is more like a big log on the fire. It takes a little more time to catch flame, but once it does, it burns steady, long, and clean. Your body is brilliant and always wants to choose the easiest fuel to access. And guess what's the easiest? Sugar. Because we live in a world where sugar and refined carbs are everywhere, most people are constantly topped up on glucose. That means when you head out for your walk, your body is still tapping into that sugar tank. And if you've got sugar in the bloodstream, insulin levels are up, and insulin is like a closed door to fat burning. As long as insulin is high, the fat burning door stays locked. Now, here's the kicker. Most people time their walks right after eating, maybe after breakfast or after lunch, thinking they're helping digestion or burning off the calories. But here's what really happens. If you walk right after eating, your body is flooded with glucose from that meal. Insulin is up, and your system says, perfect, let's just burn this sugar that's right here in the bloodstream. You might feel energized, but you're not tapping into fat. You're just recycling the sugar you just ate. This is why you hear so many people say, I walk every day, but nothing changes. It's not the walking that's the problem. It's the timing and the fuel source your body is defaulting to. Let's layer in another piece, stress. If you're walking in a rush, maybe you're on the phone, multitasking, thinking about the million things you need to do, your body is not in fat burning mode. Stress raises cortisol, and cortisol raises blood sugar. Again, higher blood sugar equals more insulin. And there's that locked fat burning door again. So you could be out walking, but your hormones are telling your body, nope, don't touch the fat stores. Stay in sugar burn. It's almost like your body is trying to protect the fat instead of releasing it. And that's frustrating because you're putting in the time, but the results don't show. Now let me simplify this with a real life example. Imagine you've got a friend, we'll call her Sarah, who walks 10,000 steps every single day. She's consistent. She's proud of it. But she also grabs a coffee with cream and sugar before her walk. And sometimes she snacks on a muffin because she thinks she'll walk it off. Her body is never given a chance to get past that sugar tank. She's constantly topping it up, so the fat tank never opens. Contrast that with another person. We'll call him David, who waits until mid-morning to take his walk. He hasn't eaten since dinner the night before, so his sugar tank is low, insulin is quiet, and his body naturally flips into fat burning mode. Same 10,000 steps, but totally different metabolic outcome. That's how powerful timing is. The walk itself doesn't change, but what's happening inside your body makes all the difference. And I want you to remember this: walking is not just about movement. It's about communication with your biology. Every time you go for a walk, you're sending a signal to your body. Which tank are we going to burn today? If you set yourself up right, that signal tells your body to dip into fat. If you don't, it defaults to sugar. So when people say walking doesn't work for fat loss, the truth is it absolutely can, but not if you're constantly feeding your sugar tank, walking stressed out or walking at the wrong times. The trick is learning how to set the stage so that your body has no choice but to unlock fat. And once you understand this, your walks stop being just steps. They become one of the simplest, most powerful fat burning tools you'll ever use. When people first hear the word fasting, they often think it means starving. But that's not what fasting is. Fasting is simply the absence of food. And when you give your body that break from eating, something really magical starts to happen inside. Think of it as pressing a reset button on your metabolism. Now, here's why this matters for fat burning and why walking during a fast can be so powerful. Your body has two primary sources of fuel: sugar and fat. When you've just eaten, your bloodstream is full of glucose from that meal. Your body says, great, we'll use this sugar for energy. But once insulin rises to manage that sugar, fat burning is basically turned off. It's like your body is standing at a locked door. It wants to get to the fat, But insulin has the key, and insulin only unlocks the door when it's low. This is where fasting becomes the game changer. When you go without food for a stretch, say overnight, 12 hours, 14 hours, even longer, your sugar tank starts to run low. Insulin drops, and suddenly that fat burning door begins to creak open. Your body looks around and says, okay, the sugar supply is running out. What else can we use for energy? And that's when it taps into your fat stores. I like to explain it with the hybrid car analogy. Imagine your body as a hybrid vehicle. When you've got plenty of gas, that's sugar. You'll run on gas because it's easy, it's quick. But when gas is low, the car flips to electric mode. That electric mode is fat burning. Fasting helps you train your body to make that switch more seamlessly, so you're not stuck in sugar mode all the time. Now let's layer in walking. When you go for a walk in a fasted state, you're basically stepping into that hybrid car right as it flips to electric. You've given your body the perfect condition. Insulin is low, the sugar tank is drained, and fat is ready to be mobilized. Walking in this state accelerates the process. Why? Because walking is low intensity movement. It doesn't demand a big surge of glucose. Instead, it signals to your body, hey, we need steady energy for this gentle activity. And the body responds by drawing from fat. Compare that to walking after a big breakfast. You're still in sugar mode. You may be moving your legs. You may even sweat a little, but metabolically, you're just burning through the food you ate. You're not reaching into your stored fat reserves. That's why two people can walk the exact same distance, but one burns sugar while the other burns fat. It all comes down to whether they walked in a fed state or a fasted state. Let me give you a real world example. Imagine someone, we'll call her Maria, who finishes dinner around 7 p.m. She doesn't snack afterward, goes to bed, and wakes up at 7 a.m. That's already a 12-hour fast. If she laces up her shoes and heads out for a walk before breakfast, she's tapping into a fat-burning window. Her insulin is low. Her body is primed to use fat. And that walk amplifies the process. But if Maria wakes up, eats toast and juice, and then walks, insulin spikes, and she's right back in sugar mode. Same walk, totally different outcome. The beauty of fasting and walking together is that you're teaching your body metabolic flexibility. That means your body becomes skilled at switching between sugar and fat. And in today's world, most people have lost that flexibility. We snack late at night, eat the moment we wake up, and graze all day long. Our bodies never get the chance to empty the sugar tank. We're always topping it off, so we stay locked in sugar mode. But the moment you give yourself a fasting window and then add a walk at the right time, you retrain your body. You're teaching it, hey, fat is fuel. Let's use it. And the more you practice this, the more efficient your body gets at burning fat, not just during your walk, but throughout your whole day. And here's the motivating part. You don't have to do a long fast to see results. Even a 12-hour window followed by a morning walk can start to make a difference. Over time, you can stretch that fasting window, 14 hours, 16 hours, and your fat burning efficiency skyrockets. You'll notice not only fat loss, but steadier energy, fewer cravings, and better mental clarity. So think of fasting and walking as partners in crime. Fasting lowers insulin and unlocks the fat burning door. Walking strolls right through that door and says, perfect, I'll take this energy now. It's simple, it's accessible, and it works with the body's natural design. When you combine the two, you're not just walking, you're walking smarter. And that's where real sustainable fat burn begins. When most people think about burning fat, they think harder is better. Run faster, sweat more, push your body to the limit. That must mean more fat is being burned, right? Actually, not quite. And this is one of the most surprising truths I love to share. Sometimes going slower is the very thing that unlocks fat burning. Let me explain why. Your body has two main energy systems, sugar burning and fat burning. And they depend on something very important, oxygen. When you're moving at a slow or steady pace, your body has plenty of oxygen available. Oxygen is what your mitochondria, the little energy factories in your cells, use to break down fat for fuel. Think of oxygen as the spark that allows your fat to catch flame and burn. Now, here's the twist. When you push yourself to go faster, when you're huffing and puffing, your body starts to demand more energy than oxygen can keep up with. So it flips the switch and starts burning sugar instead. Sugar burns quickly without needing as much oxygen. That's why high-intensity exercise feels fiery and fast. But that switch comes with a cost. You've left fat burning mode behind. The perfect analogy here is a campfire. Fat is like the big logs. It needs oxygen and steady flames to burn. Sugar is like lighter fluid. It ignites fast, but it burns out quickly. If you dump lighter fluid on the fire, sure, you'll get a big flame, but the logs don't really catch. To get those logs burning your fat, you need the slower, steadier oxygen-fed fire. And that's exactly what happens when you walk at a comfortable, steady pace instead of power, walking like you're late for an appointment. Now let's tie in heart rate, because this is where people can really measure the difference. Your body has what's called a fat burning zone, which is usually around 60-70% of your maximum heart rate. In that zone, you're moving enough to stimulate energy use, but not so fast that you run out of oxygen. That's the sweet spot where your mitochondria are happily breaking down fat. But once you push your heart rate too high, closer to 80–90% of max, you shift into sugar burning mode. You're burning calories, sure, but you're not tapping into fat stores the same way. And this is why people who walk slowly, consistently, and in the right heart rate zone often see more fat loss than people who sprint for short bursts and then feel exhausted. Let me put it in real life terms. Picture two friends, Anna and James. Anna decides to do a brisk power walk every morning. She's practically jogging, sweating, checking her watch, proud of how hard she's pushing. Her heart rate is high, but most of that effort is pulling from her sugar tank. James, on the other hand, strolls at a steady, conversational pace. He's breathing comfortably, maybe even walking outdoors where he can relax. His heart rate is lower, but he's in that fat burning zone. Over weeks, James starts noticing his clothes fitting looser while Anna feels stuck despite all her effort. Why? Because James stayed in oxygen-rich fat burn, while Anna kept defaulting to sugar. The mitochondria play a key role here. They thrive on oxygen, and they're designed to take fatty acids, the building blocks of fat, and turn them into steady energy. But they can only do this if oxygen is abundant, which means your pace has to allow for easy breathing. If you're gasping for air, you've left your mitochondria behind. So the trick is to pay attention to your body cues. A good sign you're in the fat burning zone is if you can talk while you walk. If you're walking with a friend and can carry on a conversation without gasping, you're in the right place. If you're too winded to talk, you've probably slipped into sugar mode. And here's the encouraging part: walking slower doesn't mean you're doing less. It means you're doing smarter. You're aligning your body with its natural fat burning machinery. You're giving your mitochondria the oxygen they need, and you're allowing your body to burn through those stored logs of fat that have been sitting there waiting to be used. Think about how freeing this is. Fat loss doesn't have to be about punishment or intensity. It doesn't have to mean pushing your body until it aches. It can be as simple as slowing down, breathing deeply, and letting your body's biology do the heavy lifting. When you walk this way, you're not just burning fat, you're training your body to become a more efficient fat burner over time. Your mitochondria grow stronger, your endurance improves, and you actually rewire your metabolism. That's the long-term win. So the next time you lace up your shoes, remember, don't rush. Don't force it. Walk at a pace where you feel steady, where you can breathe, where your body feels relaxed. That's the secret to turning your walk into a powerful fat-burning ritual. One of the most overlooked pieces of fat loss isn't food or exercise, it's stress. And if you've ever wondered why you're doing everything right, but the fat won't budge, stress may be the hidden culprit. That's where walking becomes such a powerful tool. Walking doesn't just move your body, it moves your hormones, especially cortisol. And cortisol, as you'll see, is either your fat-burning friend or your fat-storing enemy. So let's start with cortisol itself. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's not all bad. In fact, it's designed to help you. If you're in danger, cortisol surges, raises your blood sugar, and gives you quick energy to fight or run. It's your survival hormone. But here's the problem: in today's world, we're not running from lions or tigers. We're running from emails, deadlines, traffic, bills, and endless to-do lists. That means cortisol is constantly elevated. And when cortisol stays high, it signals your body to keep blood sugar high. That sugar spike brings up insulin, and remember, insulin locks the fat-burning door. So no matter how many steps you get in, if cortisol is up, fat burn is shut down. Now let's contrast two different types of walking. Imagine first a stressed walk. You're late for work. You're rushing to catch the train. Maybe you're weaving through people, heart racing, mind spinning with worry. That kind of walk raises cortisol even higher. Sure, you're moving, but metabolically, you're signaling your body to store fat, not burn it. Now picture another type of walk. You step outside into nature. The air is fresh. The sky is open. Maybe you hear birds or the rustle of leaves. You're not rushing. You're breathing. This kind of walk actually lowers cortisol. Your body shifts into what's called parasympathetic mode, the calm, rest, and digest state. In this mode, blood sugar drops, insulin quiets down, and the fat-burning door opens wide. It's fascinating how the same activity, walking, can have opposite effects depending on the state you're in. One keeps you locked in sugar burn, the other invites fat burning. Science actually backs this up. Studies show that walking in natural environments reduces cortisol levels, lowers blood pressure, and improves mood more than walking in busy urban settings. It's not just the movement, it's the environment and the mental state you bring into the walk. Let me give you a real-life scenario. Picture someone named Alex. He commutes to work by walking a fast half-mile through a noisy, crowded city street. Horns honk, people shove, and Alex is stressed the entire time. That walk is not a fat-burning walk. It's a stress-raising walk. Later, Alex decides to change one small thing. Instead of walking straight down the busy avenue, he leaves 10 minutes earlier and takes a side street lined with trees. He slows his pace slightly, breathes deeper, and even leaves his phone in his pocket. That new walk feels completely different. Same distance, but now Alex is lowering cortisol and opening the door to fat burn. This is the power of turning walking into a ritual. It's not just about the physical steps. It's about creating a calm, intentional experience that communicates safety to your body. When your body feels safe, it lets go of stored fat. So, how do you make this practical in your life? Here are a few simple shifts. Choose nature when you can. Parks, tree-lined streets, even a patch of grass can shift your nervous system into calm mode. Leave the phone behind, or at least silence notifications. The constant buzz keeps cortisol higher than you think. Focus on breathing. A steady inhale and exhale tells your body, we're safe, we're okay. And that lowers cortisol quickly. Walk with gratitude instead of letting your brain spin on stress. Use your walk as a moment to think about what's going right. That mindset alone can drop cortisol. The beauty of these rituals is that they don't just unlock fat burning for the walk itself, they ripple into the rest of your day. When cortisol lowers, you're less likely to crave sugar, you sleep better at night, and your body becomes more metabolically flexible. So next time you're heading out for a walk, ask yourself, am I rushing or am I relaxing? Because the state you're in changes everything. If you can use walking as a chance to slow down, breathe, and connect with your surroundings, you've just transformed an ordinary activity into a fat-burning, stress-lowering ritual. And that's the real trick. Fat burn isn't only about moving more. It's about creating the hormonal environment where your body feels safe enough to release fat. Walking is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to do that, but only if you walk calm, not stressed. I want you to take a moment and imagine yourself 1 month from today. You wake up in the morning and instead of feeling groggy or heavy, you feel light, rested, and energized. You slip on your shoes, head out the door, and your body feels different. Not sluggish, not stiff, but alive. You're not dragging yourself through the day anymore. You're moving through it with clarity and energy. And here's the beautiful part. It didn't happen because you added more workouts or punished yourself with strict diets. It happened because you learned to walk differently. You discovered how to time your walks, how to adjust your pace, how to bring calm into your movement. And those tiny shifts unlocked a whole new way of burning fat. For the first time, your body is no longer fighting you. It's working with you. That's the transformation I want you to see. Because here's the truth, fat loss isn't supposed to feel like suffering. It's not meant to be about deprivation or willpower or endless hours at the gym. Your body already has the tools to burn fat naturally. You just have to unlock them. And walking done the right way is one of the simplest keys. Think about what happens when you shift just a few things. You start walking in a fasted state, maybe first thing in the morning before breakfast. Suddenly, instead of burning yesterday's toast, your body dips into fat stores that have been waiting to be used. Over time, this becomes easier, almost automatic. You're training your metabolism to become efficient, to reach for fat first instead of sugar now. Imagine that same walk, but at a steady conversational pace. You're not gasping for breath. You're not in a rush. You're walking in a way that gives your cells, the mitochondria, the oxygen they need to keep fat burning steadily. Every step becomes a message to your body. We're calm, we're safe, we can release the fat. Layer in the environment. Instead of rushing through a busy street, you take your walk somewhere quieter, closer to nature. Even if it's just a park or a tree-lined path, your nervous system relaxes, cortisol drops, and now the fat-burning door opens even wider. The stress of your day melts a little, your cravings lessen, and your sleep improves that night because your hormones are finally in balance. See how small these shifts are. You didn't buy a new diet program. You didn't sign up for an extreme boot camp. You didn't have to overhaul your life. You simply changed the when and how of something you already do, walking. And in return, you're giving your body exactly what it's been waiting for, the chance to burn fat naturally, steadily, and sustainably. I want you to feel empowered here because this is your biology. This is not about luck, and it's not about genetic destiny. Your body is designed to burn fat when you create the right conditions. And the power to create those conditions lies in your daily choices, the timing of your walks, the pace, the mindset you bring to them. So here's my invitation to you, test it for yourself. For the next week, pick one walk a day and do it in a fasted state. Pay attention to how your body feels afterward, not just physically, but mentally. Then try slowing your pace, letting it be steady instead of rushed. Notice if you feel more energized, more clear-headed. Add in a nature walk even once or twice a week and see how your stress levels shift. The results won't just show up on the scale. They'll show up in your energy, in your sleep, in your mood. You'll start noticing that you're not craving sugar as much, that you're falling asleep more easily at night, that you wake up with a sense of clarity instead of fog. That's your body thanking you. That's your biology responding to the signals you're giving it. And here's the secret that no diet plan or boot camp class will ever tell you. Fat loss doesn't have to be a battle. It doesn't have to mean restriction and punishment. The real secret is learning how to work with your body instead of against it. Walking, timed right, paced right, done with calm intention, is one of the most powerful, overlooked ways to do exactly that. So the next time you head out the door, remember, you're not just walking. You're teaching your body to burn fat, to balance hormones, to heal. Every step you take in this way is a step toward a lighter body, a clearer mind, and a calmer nervous system. And once you experience this shift, once you feel how simple and natural fat burning can be, you'll never look at walking the same way again.